know, midway through the round. I mean, this nigga, great body. Out we go.
Even throw the punches, your stance must be right as far as your pivot. Start off with your pivot, get on your pivot, and it's light. The jab goes like this. This is exactly how the jab go. Jab.
Punching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford.
Floyd Mayweather recently dropped by Terence Crawford's camp, offering his wisdom on how to beat Canelo Alvarez. During the visit, Mayweather outlined the tactics that guided his own win over Canelo. Back in 2013, he told Crawford to emphasize speed, elite defense, and sharp counters to expose Canelo's flaws. With Mayweather's experience behind him, Crawford may gain a valuable boost as he gears up for the biggest challenge of his career, against the stronger Alvarez.
You bring the hook with it. You can go to the body. Jab. Just double jab. Triple jab.
At a recent press event, Canelo Alvarez didn't mince words while evaluating Terence Crawford's resume. He argued that Crawford hasn't really fought elite-level competition so far. Canelo voiced firm belief that his own skills and depth of experience are unlike anything Crawford has ever encountered. This wasn't just bravado, it was a mental move meant to shake Crawford's confidence. Canelo's comments reinforce his belief in his legacy and the gulf between himself and his rival.
The last fighters that you fought, they ain't on my level. And
I fought everybody.
The last fighters you fought since 2002.
Mention me one. You
Since
mention me
2002.
one elite fighter. Just one.
You.
Oh, me.
Look.
It's gonna be me.
I don't care about anybody else.
And you will see that.
You. So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stump a mud hole in your ass, is you gonna be a nobody? Same everybody else been saying since I moved to 147, I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them stump a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be next. Watch.
Live, only on DAZN, June 28th. Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Max Kellerman delivered a compelling breakdown of the two fighters. He praised Crawford's jab as one of the sharpest and most strategic weapons in boxing today. While Canelo once had a comparable jab, Kellerman said its effectiveness has diminished, and now Crawford's precision gives him an edge. He also underlined Crawford's ring IQ, saying it could frustrate Canelo, who leans on brute strength. This analysis shows how intelligence can tip the scale in this anticipated showdown.
Best jab,
Crawford.
best defense.
Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring. But, early in his career, he had a problem with that and was much more comfortable counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him.
Miko Ali, grandson of boxing legend Muhammad Ali, has voiced his admiration for Terence Crawford. He described Crawford's personality and talent as top tier. Ali respects the hard work and focus that Crawford brings into the ring, viewing him as someone deserving of greatness. His support shows how Crawford's impact reaches beyond records or belts. It touches the hearts of boxing royalty and those who value fighters with dignity, skill, and unwavering dedication to their craft.
people with Canelo before Canelo's last fight, but then after Canelo's last fight, it seems like it's more 50-50 now. So everything is just the build up for that fight is just going to be absolutely magnetizing. Like that fight, it's garnered so much more buzz after Canelo's last fight, and Bud is Bud. He's one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. He is one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. So it's going to be a fight. It's going to be awesome to watch.
Have you sparred any of them?
I haven't sparred Bud yet. I haven't been in Canelo's camp. I've met Canelo a few times. I love Canelo's team. Canelo's one of my favorite fighters. He's been my favorite fighter for the longest time. But you know, I have to be Team Bud because me and Bud are cool, and I have so much belief in Bud, and I know who he is as a fighter. He is one of the greats. So he could do anything he wants.
And being around both of them and seeing how they work and train and things like that, what makes both of them the fighters they are, in your opinion?
I've watched Bud, so for Bud in particular, he's calm in everything he does, and that kind of calm is scary to watch because it shows experience. You can see that he's been doing this for decades.
Canelo Alvarez spoke respectfully about Crawford's talents. He remarked that when top-tier boxers meet, weight becomes less relevant since true pros know how to adapt. Canelo made it clear that he's going all in on his training. He knows facing Crawford calls for more than just relying on size or power. His remarks show genuine respect for Crawford's threat and an understanding that this fight demands elite preparation and thoughtful tactics if he wants to retain his edge.
Smaller guy, and why do I need to fight this guy? For you, what changed? Tell me about the moment where you're like, you know what? Maybe I'll do this. This sounds like a good idea.
No, if you're thinking about it, look how big turns this fight. It's a big fight. No, that's why made me change. But I've been in his situation before, jumping weight classes, and when you're a good fighter, that doesn't matter. So I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on training very hard because Crawford is a very good fighter.
Yeah, tell me about your experience with that, because now it's reverse. He's coming up in weight. What could be dangerous? What aren't we seeing that maybe you see in this fight?
No, everything. He's a good fighter. Obviously, I know that, and I need to be careful. I need to be careful in everything.
Showbiz the Adult gave a fair view of the upcoming fight. He applauded Canelo's raw power and the tough grind of his training camps, saying it plays a key role in his dominance. At the same time, he praised Crawford's ring IQ and his wrestling background, which lets him read and counter opponents well. Yet, Showbiz stood by Canelo having the advantage due to his experience and frame. He said the fight could be close, but the size factor may ultimately decide it.
And Canelo uses his legs, he uses his core, and then his neck itself to lift up Bivol like Bivol was a featherweight. That is a huge representation of how strong Canelo is. When you look at his workouts, you can tell why he was able to do that. All these damn neck exercises that I wouldn't dare do. Okay, that stuff looks painful. The squatting and all that stuff that he's doing is exactly why Canelo Alvarez, honestly, is a strong fighter. He tried to do it again with William Skull. William Skull shook out of it, but he is a bull. Listen, Terence Bud Crawford is strong. He is, okay? And he understands leverage, and he understands those things because he wrestled. Honestly, very true. But Saul Canelo Alvarez is also extremely strong. Now, let me know how you feel in the comments below. We're in the zone, war room.
Jarrell Miller spoke about his hopes for the fight, revealing that he's rooting for Crawford to win. He highlighted Crawford's drive and fire as the reasons he believes he'll pull off the upset, even if he's the smaller man. Miller brushed off concerns over weight, saying a fighter with hunger can always overcome size. His take shows he values passion and mental strength, traits that, in his eyes, can outweigh raw physical advantages in a high-stakes battle like this.
Crawford, huge fight September 13th. Who do you think's going to win that?
I'm pulling for Crawford in this one. I think people was underestimating
his strength right now and his size. And I think he's a little more hungry than Canelo. So let's see though. But I like both guys, but I'm more a little closer to Crawford, so I want to see Crawford can take it.
Several commentators have emphasized how crucial Crawford's strategy will be. This isn't just another bout, it's a potential legacy sealer. If Crawford can defeat someone like Canelo, it could erase all doubts about his greatness. To pull it off, Crawford must stick to his boxing brain and stay away from risky moves. His approach should rest on being accurate, composed, and flexible. These elements are key if he wants to etch his name deeper into boxing history.
He understands that he has to be smart. And I think with this one specifically, it ain't just about being smart. He knows he has to look like he's never looked before, because again, if he doesn't and he beats Canelo, everybody's just gonna say, well, that's Crawford, you know? So I think he knows that this is the performance of a lifetime and everything has to look right. He knows in order for it to look right, he can't just go out there and let the dog go. Dog is, you know, he gotta work his way up to the dog. Hey, show the clip real quick. I don't know if you showed it already, but this is the dog you're talking about right here, right? And so this is, I pulled this clip right here. I seen it on social media this morning.
Don't do that. That's what I'm saying.
And I pulled this clip, right? But this is Terence.
That's who he is.
He's not gonna swing on Canelo. He already know that part of the game. But what I asked you, were you ever trying to send a message to your opponents? He's letting you know, and it's no act. And that's what I really wanted to show, is that's not an act.
No.
That's not, there's 30 security guards.
It feels a little contrived.
You think so?
I think a lot of people feel it's a little like.
Well, I'm glad you used a big word that most of us don't know.
Hey, I don't fight as good as you guys. I had to learn some big words, right, to make up for that.
Don't look it up. Just ignore what
you need big words to get out of fights. You know, you need big words to get out of fights. But you know, okay. So case in point, our guy Hafey, sitting right there, producer extraordinaire. He had a picture of Terence Crawford in New York.
Crawford's ambition is obvious. He's not shying away from risk, even hinting at going for a knockout against a naturally bigger rival. He's already proven his skills at higher weights, like 150 pounds, where he performed well. The leap to 168 pounds is huge, but his previous experience shows he can handle the jump. His style and instincts might allow him to stay competitive. Crawford isn't walking into this blindly, he's bringing tools built for this level of challenge.
Bud Crawford is taking his undefeated record, putting it on the line, daring to be great, to try and knock off Saul Canelo Alvarez from his throne and go and try to do something that no man has ever done, and that is to be a 3-division undisputed champion. That's a tall task. We know that Canelo Alvarez has fought fighters way bigger than Bud Crawford. It's actually one of the biggest talking points in this fight is the size. Canelo Alvarez has fought guys like Bivol. He's fought guys like Kovalev. He's fought guys like Billy Joe Saunders. He's fought really big fighters who are established at their weight classes all the way up to light heavyweight. And we know that Bud has come from a smaller weight class, being a champion all the way down at the 135-pound division into 140, 147. But as you can see in the tail of the tape, Bud is actually taller. Bud actually has a bigger reach. And quite frankly, he did most recently fight in the 154-pound division. And I don't think he will struggle to make weight to be at 168 and fight as a super middleweight. The question is, though, is bone structure. Who's going to carry that weight more effectively? We know that Canelo Alvarez has been in the weight longer, and as I mentioned, he's fought bigger guys. It's really something amazing for Bud if he's able to pull this off.
Edgar Berlanga shared thoughts on Crawford's mental focus as the fight nears. He urged Crawford to stick to the style that's earned him success, rather than change to compensate for Canelo's size. Berlanga pointed out that when someone moves up to divisions, it naturally levels the playing field. His opinion highlights that win or lose, Crawford's willingness to chase greatness is admirable. He's showing courage and ambition by taking on this type of elite test.
First of all, he got to go in there and he just got to fight him. You know what I'm saying? he got to go in there. I think Crawford just got to go in there and do what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? He got to just be Crawford, you know, show his IQ, show him why he's a 2-time undisputed, you know, world champion, and go in there with confidence, you know what I'm saying? That's all it is, you know, it's a big weight difference, a big weight jump, you know, that could be a difference in the fight, you know, because obviously, you know, it's like me jumping up to heavyweight. Obviously, I'm a feel the power, I'm a feel that size difference, you know, compared to my other fights. So I just think that he got to go in there and just be himself. And I said, if he loses, you know, we'll just all know that, hey, you know, he just jumped up 2 weight classes to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's not, he can't really, he's testing himself. He's putting himself, testing himself a great fighter. So, and I don't doubt him, you know, I don't got no doubt in my mind. You know, he's a 2-time undisputed world champion for a reason. So, you know, and I don't think nothing's gonna phase him in that fight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the power, maybe the size, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, Canelo, he's not knocking Canelo out. So, he just gotta go in there, just IQ.
Would you lean towards Canelo still in that fight?
I got faith in him. I think Crawford could do it. You know what I'm saying? I think he could do it. Just like I said, just the size. The only shit that throws the fight off is the size and, you know, obviously the power. And Canelo's IQ too, because Canelo got IQ, you know what I'm saying? And Canelo fought a lot much bigger guys, you know? So I know the Crawford's power ain't gonna phase him. I know Crawford's size ain't gonna phase him either, you know what I'm saying? So, but for me, I think it's a 50-50 fight.
Gareth A. Davies and Duke McKenzie discussed how meaningful this clash is in today's boxing era, where top names often dodge each other. This face-off between elite talents is rare and thrilling. They stress that these are the kinds of fights fans long for where legends collide and history is written. Crawford's ability to adapt mid-fight is what earns him so much respect. That skill has helped him beat top fighters before. He'll need every bit of it against Canelo.
Really, like, I mean, this is a huge... I really like Terence Crawford. I think, you know, we were talking about coaches breaking down. I think that Terence does a good job of that, breaking his opponent down, hit the fight. I think that he does a good job of adjusting. I do think that, you know, Canelo is a big feat ahead of him, because I also like Canelo. Like, it's kind of one of those things, like, who do I like more that night? It's gonna be a really good fight. I like both of them. I think that, you know, that is something that I think women's boxing does a good job of, is putting on fights like that. Like we fight whoever. So I think it's cool to see the men starting to do more of that. Like it historically has always been. Like
Tszyu offered honest views on how things look going into the bout. He mentioned that Canelo's predictable patterns can be exploited by someone as clever as Crawford. He also talked about how pre-fight drama often serves hype more than real emotion. Tim feels Crawford's boxing IQ can counter size. Crawford also knows what's on the line. He said this bout might define his place in boxing lore. That awareness adds weight to a showdown already full of meaning.
What's made him this great. Do you think that this is a similar thing for your fight now at this point in your career, stepping up and facing someone like Canelo? Does this kind of make you unbeatable and this figure that will just go down in history?
I don't know. I don't know about comparing it to his situation, but it will be a situation where I'll be talked about for many decades to come, and definitely go down in the history books as one of the best fighters to ever lace up the gloves.
Terence Crawford has shared a cautiously optimistic outlook. He believes he has around a 70% shot at winning, which shows belief balanced with realism. He's aware that beating someone like Canelo, who's bigger and more seasoned, won't be easy, but he trusts his training and skills. This perspective offers insight into Crawford's mindset, confident but grounded. He respects the challenge ahead, but still sees himself with a real chance to pull off something historic.
You're 100% certain you're going to win.
We never 100%.
What percentage are you?
70.
To say 70% chance, it just doesn't sound that confident. But I want to say this, though. He was being truthful. He knows how important this fight is. And it's that important because it is very difficult. So him saying this is difficult, and I'm giving myself a 70% chance, which is why I'm doing it. It is not because I'm bigger than him and this is easy and I'm stronger than him actually and people don't understand that I'm more skilled. No, he's a beast. And this has never been done. And this is not a sure thing. And that's why I'm so eager to do it. That's the definition of greatness. That's why he should be on a Mount Rushmore if he accomplishes. That's why Terence Crawford is brave.
That wraps it up for today's video. Make sure to stay connected. See you soon.